Hi, Greg from Trump Trader. I wanted to do a quick lesson on how to take advantage of channels. And in this example, we're going to be using a 1-minute channel, but you'll also see this in the 5-minute. So this was an example that happened today, December 21st, roughly in the late morning. And what I did was I had a channel drawn here, and I'll draw out the channel that I had. And you can't really, yes, we could go forward and whatever, but we'll use as an example. But as soon as I had two peaks drawn here, I connected the two and let it go. And as soon as I had two bottoms, and sometimes I'll use the bottom as a connector from up here. So we can probably extend this to this peak here, and that's sometimes how it works. So when we know that the price is maintaining the bottoms and the tops and bouncing back and forth, you know that until that it proves otherwise, if it doesn't make the bottom or the top, you know that if it doesn't make the top, then the buying pressure or the selling pressure is really high, and if it makes the bottom, if it doesn't make the bottom, you know that the pressure could be relieved. Also, it could be for a specific reason coming up shortly. So what happens is, if you look very closely, you'll see that there's little support and resistance lines that it crosses. Okay, so we're looking at this 1-minute channel here. Now what happens, we can see a little bit of resistance here. Now again, this is just on a 1-minute time frame, so you've got to be keep your eyes open when you spot these. So when it crosses this, it comes back to retrace, and when it retraces, that creates the top of the channel. Okay, so it may not be here that you can put in a sell, but guess what? You can put in a sell here. So it crosses this. You can even look over here. There was a minor resistance here, which came forward to here, and once it crossed, it came back and retraced. So this made the top of the other our top channel. So another great place to put in a short. Here's our target, the bottom of the channel. So the price had a bit of resistance here at 43.25, and came back top of our channel. Another place to put in a short. The target was basically 4,300. It basically wanted to hit. But here's a good example. Even though the price started to leave the channel, it actually couldn't get past 43.25. Okay, so 43.25 was it struggled to get past here, came back up, and then went down. It looks like it hit our target. We're unsure yet, but we're still in this downtrend until proven otherwise. What I'd like to see is when it breaks the channel, I want to see it actually not only break the channel, but break the minor support and resistance that's closest to it, and that was 43.25. So let's see what happens. So even though it didn't actually, it broke our thin low angle or high angle channel here, it wasn't able to get past 43.25. So the selling resumed. The selling matched the 43.10 here, or 43.08 roughly, the bottom here, and it continued to respect the top of our trend line here, our downward trend line. Now, what happens when it does this is that just because it leaves this specific channel doesn't mean that it's done going down. It just means it's done going down at this angle. So that's what we have to put into use our minor support and resistances here, the 43.25. So even though, yeah, it leaves, it doesn't mean that it's actually stopped going down. Okay, so you have to couple those two together. But what starts to happen is that another channel could actually form, and one did if you caught it quick enough. This is it here, roughly about there. Another channel formed outside of this channel. Now, again, these channels are used to show us the buying and selling pressure, and to show us if it's being continued or to show if it's being relieved. They just help us gauge when that's happening, and when we can expect them to resume or to stop or to go back up or down. It just helps us as price action traders. So it did respect the top of our old trend line, and when that was when this price was hit, which was actually 4,300, this old channel was done. So when it was when it actually broke the top of this secondary little channel here, the first thing you got to say, it's gonna try to hit 43.25. It's got to try to. That's its first target. So this is not a bad place to put in a little long scalp here. Protect your profit. If you do want to take the chance and anticipate that it'll go past 43.25, that's fine, but just put in your protect profit. So if it does come back down, you're not taking loss. You'll salvage profits. So it did manage to cross it, but on a higher time frame, you'd see that this is just a little peak here. Just remember, this is just 1 minute. You look on the 10 or 15 minute charts, and this will just be a wick. So this didn't actually close above 43.25 on a higher term time frame. So when that happens, it's likely to go down. And what happened now is we're looking at our resistance of about 4,300. That's where the price had previously had issues getting past, here and here, which recently just hit early in the day. But we're just going through this like this is live. Now what's an interesting move here? Okay, so this was the price that had issues getting past. Now what I like to do when it does breach these, and you can tell this is over at least a 30-minute area, I would put in a short here with a stop loss above 4,300, about 43.05 to 43.07. And you can see the price did manage to actually go down. It fiddled a bit, wasn't really sure of the direction, and later on in the afternoon it did dip to below almost 42.65. So those are the things to watch out for. You can say that the price almost did respect this trend line, almost, but not quite. But that's not really that important. What's important is to know the direction and to know when to get on it. I was able to get on this trade here early in the day, and it took 31 pips for this. Just because I knew that it breached 4,300, and I got in on the retrace and waited several hours for it to make 31 pips. So, but in instances like this, where you know that the price has very strong selling here, when it reaches these, or breaks these points, or these little support resistance lines, comes back up, these are great places to put in shorts. Does it again here, and you could make, you could at least have two opportunities in channels like this. You can put in shorts, and when the price is actually quenched, the target is hit. Not only is the target is this channel. This channel is not used anymore, it still could be respected, it's just going at a different angle. Okay, so that's important to, if you do put in a long, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but just go about it a quarter of maybe what you normally would do, or maybe half of what you normally would do for a lot, or from mini lot, whatever you're trading at. So that's just a quick lesson there. Remember to always, if you're using channels, always note the minor resistances. They go along very well with these channels. If you're looking at larger time frame channels, it does the same thing, just on a larger time frame. Look at the support resistance. If it crosses it like this and it comes back under it, it's not a bad place to put in a short unless it crosses it. If it does cross it, then get it on the retrace when it goes back up. So that's what happened there. And always look at your higher time frame. So this is the 1 minute. I would look to see on the 15-minute channel, 15-minute time frame, if this actually closed above, and if it did, it showed that there were some buyers here, which 5 pips is not enough anyways. But those are some things to look at, and yeah. So we'll see you next time at our next lesson. Take care.